Hello and welcome to another video, and today we're talking about Intellivision Amico. Boomers. Boomers. What a name for a place. I've never been. It's in California. I'm in the UK. I'm unlikely to be going to Boomers. And the strange thing is, sorry my voice is going. The strange thing is, this, Boomers. What a name, first of all. Why? All the people who are sort of involved in the Amico and the people who are sort of the target audience, they're saying they're boomers. Now, boomers to me should be baby boomers, i.e. people who were born during the Second World War, which, if that was at the very latest 1945, that's going to put you about, try and do some maths, that's going to put you about 76 years old. So, boomers are not. The people who are going for the, people who are going for the Amico or sort of retro consoles from the 80s and so on, are going to be likely heading towards 50. I myself am heading towards 50. So if someone calls me boomer, I'm just like, what? Yeah. So there we go. So, but before we get to the actual Amico itself, no masks by Tommy at Boomers, and here we have. We've got obviously Tommy Tallarico in the middle. I think that's Groucho Marx on the left, and no idea who that is on the right. But I don't know. I did ask the question in here. In the UK, masks are no longer a requirement. What's the situation for California? And the reply came: hospitals are still in crisis with kids who have no vaccination options. It's something that's going to be coming out soon over here. They're filling up ICUs and filled with the dying of the proudly ignorant and unvaccinated. So, if you get your offer for the vaccine, do take it. But then I commented that there's too many anti-vaxxers here in the UK. Like Beverly Turner is one of them, just one of these rent-a-gobs on. I don't know what her job is, but she just seems to turn up on This Morning and Jeremy Vine's show, proudly talking about how she doesn't want to give her kids a vaccine. Why? Just get it sorted. I asked if masks were still a directive in California, because generally, unless they are, people are not going to wear them. So obviously they were in. Well, you might know. Obviously, you might not know if you're not in the UK, but they weren't a thing in they were a thing in the UK on, say, public transport and places like that for quite some time. Not from the start, but it came in around about September or so, I think, and then. We had like another lockdown, which seemed to last forever. But then, so if you go on public transport, you had to wear masks. And now it's not a requirement. They just say, oh, if it makes you feel comfortable, wear one. So quite frankly, if I don't have to wear one, I won't wear one. And I've had both jabs. And I'm technically in the clinically vulnerable group because I've had aortic valve replacement when I was that was when I was 22 years old, but it's a lifelong heart condition which I've had since I was born. So I'm technically in that vulnerable group, which I had my first jab earlier than some others. But if I have to wear a mask, I will do. If not, I'm not 100% convinced of whether they're going to be entirely useful, but if I have to wear one, I wear one. I'm not going to mess about. It's that life's too short to just mess about with that and just kick off and stuff like that. Then Beetlejuice7 says wearing a mask is literally a requirement of boomers. Good to know the family-friendly CEO is so concerned about the health of the public and potential customers. Does he have any other shoes? So I don't know. That was just quite an amusing photo, but. Getting on to the sort of the meat and potatoes of the what we're going to talk about. Let's go back. Where are we? Here's where we wanted to talk about. Odd Ad 6387 said, I went to the Irvine event, which is the event at Boomers. Now, I've not been able to find any footage of this. There's a screenshot I'll come to in a bit. But there's a recollection on Atari Age, which I'll come to, which seems more like something from the Amico cult rather than this, which seems more realistic. Yeah, there's no actual sort of footage because no one. They apparently had to say it'll come up. You had to sign a waiver saying we're not going to record anything. So anyway, our dad says so it was. Everything worked. That's a good start. I didn't notice any lag. I turned the controller upside down to see what would happen, and the controls did not flip with it. Or didn't not flip with it, so maybe they did. No, I think it means they didn't. I brought my girlfriend who doesn't play video games at all and has a difficult time with the Xbox controller. She used the wheel like an old iPod Click. It took her a second to figure out how to use it like a D-pad. She didn't see the point of the touchscreen and it confused her a bit. We both agreed, yes, this is a family-friendly console, but if she had a choice between this and a Nintendo, she would choose the Nintendo, and as comes up in a bit, Nintendo Switch is going to be coming down in the UK from £280 to £260, while the OLED version goes on sale for £310. But I'm still not particularly fussed about having one, quite frankly. I played a Switch about 2 years ago at Christmas at my nephew's house, and whatever the Super Mario game is that's on there that came out with the console, I played that for about. I love the sort of 2D Super Mario games, but trying to play this 3D one where you just going all over the place, I just did not take to it at all. And after about 40 minutes, quite frankly, I'd had enough and I gave it back. But so I don't know, unless there was like some sort of killer app that would make me want to spend 250 odd quid on a console plus a game, so that's about 300 quid, I guess. For the time being, no. Anyway, I went to a screen that I believe was the operating system screen, and it seemed like an app store, but it could be wrong. No one came up to talk to us, but another family walked in, and Tommy greeted them. He asked them if they'd heard of the Amico, and the guy said, "Yes, I am an investor." Money, money, money. Tommy asked the guys kid if they wanted to play some games and explained everything to them. However, no one came and talked to us. Yes, because he didn't give $10,000 a piece, or give some money. Seriously, if you got your money invested in this thing, get it out if you can. It's not coming out. We played 2 games, Astro Smash and a side-scrolling shooter. Astro Smash is apparently at all of these events. They were meh, not bad, not good. We played for a few minutes and we were bored. My girlfriend said, "What's the point and where is the story?" Well, that's it. They're trying to go for people who are casual gamers or non-gamers who they think are going to spend $250 on a console. And and if someone who's not a gamer isn't interested and saying what's the point, well, exactly what's the point? They said if it was like $100 to $150, we might be interested in it. So yeah, it's the kind of thing. If it's about 100 quid, which if it ever comes out and then it quickly gets discontinued and then ends up in the bargain bins, probably 100 quid or $100 or so. That's probably what you're looking at. Very cool to hear a report from someone just picking it up and trying it out. Your reaction sounds like what I think of what a lot of people expected. It's okay at best. If the price was right, it would find a wider market and the controllers do not need a touchscreen. You mean your jaw didn't hit the floor? You must be a hater. Was that Cyrus's mind being blown by Tommy the Fluffer? Cyrus Martin seems to have deleted his entire channel from YouTube, apparently. Your girlfriend hit on all the problems with the Amico. It occupies the same space as Nintendo. Doesn't do it quite as good and is too expensive. The drama around this comes from the owner of the company playing a little loose with the facts. But if it didn't have that and was cheaper, it would probably carve out its own little niche, but thanks for sharing. See, that's the thing. The console, if it gets working for mass production, sounds fine as a simple family game system. The price point is what's going to absolutely bury this thing. Brand new Intellivision Lives, Atari flashbacks, and similar sell for $50 or less. Exactly. That's the kind of money that people are going to spend on it. For that price and some decent games, I can see a lot of families grabbing it as something curious, but not essentially the cost of a Switch. And they said it's only $50 cheaper than a brand new Xbox Series S, which is about $300. So that's not top of the line, but it is a system that will be supported for several years, and more to the point, is out to buy. When you're pricing yourself in the same realm as the newest consoles, they can do loads more, and not just gaming. I run all my streaming services. They just say you won't be able to compete, but they say they run all their streaming services and such through their older Xbox One S, as well as DVDs and Blu-rays. I've got an Xbox One S, and since I've got that on my PC, I've no gaming PC. I've no reason to buy an Xbox Series X. I've got a PlayStation 5, I like that, but no reason to buy the new Xbox. And this thread goes on for quite some time, but I'll just sum it up basically with this is the one from Mario Man 1987, where he says, King Tom built and hyped it up way too much. Nothing about the console is revolutionary nor compelling. The system isn't powerful, the gameplay seems repetitive, and nothing original to drive sales. But to hear Tom tell the tale, the system and the controller are game changers. The non-physical/physical media products were touted as never done before, and the game's fun. Literally none of this panned out. It's like the one fella who just went to the Irvine pop-up event. It's just like the... Sorry, I can't even fucking read today. It's just like the one fella who... They could do some extra commas in there, I think. It's just like the one fella, comma, who went to the Irvine pop-up event. Meh. And May won't cut it at $250 against Mario, Sony, and Mr. Softy's deep, deep pockets. He's fucked 6 ways to Sunday. And guess what tomorrow is, which would have been Sunday. Also, 2 guys from Atari Age went and didn't immediately go on Atari Age to post reactions afterwards. That tells you all you need to know. So, yeah, there's one comment from one review. This is where we get into the sort of the shill territory. Whoever Wolfie62 is says, I can only speak for myself. I had a wonderful day at Boomers in Irvine. Is it Irvine, Irvine? I don't know. I've never been. Tommy and his crew were all friendly and hospitable. It was fun to play a couple of Amico games. I enjoy playing Shark Shark, which seems to be one of the few games that actually gets shown off on a regular basis. I enjoyed that one the most because it showed off the awesome Amico controller's ability to move easily and smoothly in all directions. No lag, no slowdown. Well, the shill's not going to say there's lag or slowdown, is he? Just smooth and fun gameplay. To say the least, I love the controller. It's fantastic. Tommy was interacting with everyone there who wanted to play some games, explaining how the controller in games played and just being a great host. Well, obviously not interacting with everyone because the guy just before said they didn't come over to him because he was not an investor. I met John Avocado, who ran me through the Shark Shark gameplay, explaining the controller to me. They provided pizza for us. Blah, 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 blah. Shill, 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 blah, blah. Thank you, Tommy, for inviting us down. It was great to play. Now, I'll get on to the other review in a bit, but something very interesting, and I'm sure I did see this somewhere in the one of the threads about it. I've kind of lost track of where it is. Because I've sort of waited till now to make this video because I wanted to see what would come out of would any footage come out? And none has. But it was basically, he says, thank you for inviting me. It was basically advertised the day before. Surely if you want people to come down, you tell people about it. You know, you don't sort of hide it under a rock until the day before and then say, oh, we're turning up at Boomers on Saturday. You know, pop down if you want to. So it was obviously to stop all the Amico cult turning up. And, OEB Pete and so on. But the interesting thing I find is that Saturday, the day they were holding the event on, was September the 11th, 2021. Now, what was happening on September the 11th, 2021? It was the 20th anniversary of 9/11. And you'd think an American company would be sort of, anyone in America would be thinking about one thing and nothing else on the 20th anniversary. You know, you could imagine like 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and next maybe 25 years, 30 years. I mean, obviously there'll be some people who don't stop thinking about it, but you know, on a massive anniversary, you want people to come and see your product. Surely they'll be kind of busy on that day. So you go for a different day, the week after or the week after that. Why Why do you schedule this for 9/11, the anniversary? Can anyone explain that to me? I mean, I say I'm in the UK and it was all over the news here, and I saw some of the coverage. But just why would you have it on that date? It would just seem absolutely bizarre to me to schedule it for that day. It's not like an accident. It's not like something happened by accident. It was actually scheduled for that day, planned for that day. It's like they didn't want it to happen. It's like they wanted to just sort of push it out the door, just so they get the investors in to have a look, and didn't really want anyone else, any humans, to turn up. Very strange. I mean, I remember 9/11. I remember being at work when the news came in. It was about the first one would have hit a tower at about 1:45 in the afternoon in the UK, and I remember. I'll be honest, I wasn't 100% sure because obviously to that time of life, the World Trade Center wasn't exactly on my radar. I wasn't 100% sure. None of us were which building it was specifically. Obviously, by the end of the day, we knew exactly which building it was. But yeah, that was just. You think, why would you have this event on that day? It does not make sense whatsoever. Oh God. Anyway, Tommy King of Snark, he can't help but be arrogantly condescending towards. Oh yeah, we have a picture of an interesting picture. He condescending towards every user who speculates about what he refuses to reveal himself, like the UI. And where's it gone? I'll just bring up the image. So someone's commented, and he's quoted their comments. I guess this is the placeholder UI and not a final one with the mascot showing games. And well, it's not a very good picture, but people weren't allowed to take pictures. Like most things you post here, it doesn't say who's posting. You're once again incorrect, and yes, everyone can see the pattern. For those interested, that is the menu for emoji charades and some of the different categories you can pick, including a bunch of exclusive ones for kids and family only for Amico, which are the ones at whoever that is, had mentioned his family lights. We also had a retro gaming category, which I'm sure a bunch of folks will enjoy. Then he's also quoted someone's quote, here are some things I've read. I'm local, I didn't have much else to do this morning, so I went. Didn't have my camera out because they made you sign a waiver saying you couldn't record footage of the games, but I can talk about my experience. Sounds like you'll not see very much footage if this is true. Weird, considering this should be buttoned up and ready to roll. You should want to get people excited by showing the games and not hiding them. And Tommy says, like usual with this guy, completely false information, and shows the Gene Wilder image from Willy Wonka. Tommy's doing himself no favours by chipping in to forum drama, doing himself no favours whatsoever, especially as he's trying to get more investment for this thing. But hey ho, it's up to him. Now I'll also show this is Lineman Doc. So it's quite a long review. This so we'll go through it. I have a 2-year-old, 7-year-old, and 9-year-old. 2-year-old girl still struggles to control the character's direction on any video game. The only games I successfully play with her at home are the original Frog Bog on Intellivision and bowling on the Magnavox Odyssey 2. These games still only require one button to play and have no directional control. She was excited to hold the Amico controller and pretend to play Shark Shark. The touchscreen captivated her, and she was able to choose her fish herself on it, but really was not capable of playing the game. Unless Amico comes out with an extremely simple game like Frog Bog, or the bowling, or a 0-button motion game, 2 years old is just too young. I didn't play it, but I understand the packing game Cornhole, which is still in prototype stage, will have user choices before, well, it's not got anything at the moment, before the motion control of throwing, and I imagine that would be too complicated even for a 2-year-old. Too complicated for a 2-year-old, it's too complicated for a 52-year-old who's designing the system. Hopefully a future game will work for that age, but I say you probably need to be at least 3 years old to actually play Amico and not have the parent or child get frustrated. 7-year-old boy, he enjoyed Amico by far the most out of the kids. I think the biggest factor here was the game design and not the hardware or touchscreen. He liked the controller, but also likes the Switch controller and the Steam controller and a mouse and keyboard. The controller doesn't make a difference to him as long as it works well. Amico's controller works well and he simply takes that for granted. What the Amico does exceptionally well for his age is to provide well-designed games that play well when mixing his lower skill level with my higher skill level. I found Rigid Force Redux to be fun and challenging, but he found it to be fun and not challenging. He does not like challenging while I do. It works perfect to make him invincible and me not. I know this game concept is not new, and I mentioned Blaster Master Zero from the Switch on the other thread as an example. What is new is that all, or at least most of the Amico games will be like this. Shark had a playable skeleton fish when the kids died early. I didn't play Astro Smash long enough to know what happens when the kid dies early, but I never noticed a time when he was not fully engaged in playing. I think we shared lives, but I'm not sure. Amico is perfect for a 7-year-old boy. It's much better for me than the Switch. It's much better for me than the Switch as a parent of a 7-year-old because I don't have to search so hard for games designed specifically for our demographics. Amico's strong point here is definitely its hand-picked game library. I understand this could also be its weak point if you don't fall into a demographic it's catered to. Don't end a sentence with a preposition. If you don't fall into a demographic for which it's catered. I selfishly don't care because it is catered towards my family and we will enjoy it. If it ever comes out, which it won't. I will still keep my Switch for my selfish one-player games I play in bed before falling asleep while ignoring my family. A 9-year-old girl pretty much only plays Minecraft in creative mode at home. She does not like games that have game overs or even have a clear objective or goal. I personally don't enjoy her style of games, and she's most difficult to find any video game to play together and have us both enjoy it, but we do enjoy board games. Saying this, Emoji Charades was a favourite and my wife's. While I don't particularly enjoy charades or Pictionary, I do enjoy most other board games and party games. These are what I imagine playing with all 5 of us on family nights on the couch at home. Having a touchscreen on each controller is a necessity on many of these types of games. Amico may win the market on this niche category of video games because nothing else is even capable of hiding each player's deck of cards on a video game console. Well, you could just play with a pack of cards. Duh. I guess except for Jackbox Party, but that's the only example I can think of. Amico has the potential to provide dozens more of these style of games and really create a market for digital board games. I must say I've not got a Switch, but haven't they got that 51 games in one or something? Surely that's all a family would need. Anyway, I definitely feel Amico is well designed for families with at least one child aged 3 to 12. Teens may see it as too childish, but we definitely find it still fun to play with a younger sibling in that age range. If they don't have younger siblings, it'd probably collect dust in a teenager's room. Amico will also be great for grandparents to have for when grandkids come and visit. I don't imagine my parents, 70 years old, would play it by themselves, but I do see them playing it with their grandkids. Well, if the grandkids have it, then they could just take it over. The grandparents would not need to own one because the grandkids would take theirs over. You know, I had like computers and stuff, or like a ZX Spectrum in the 80s, but I would take it over to my grandparents when I stayed over. I wouldn't, they wouldn't be playing those games anyway, but I would take it to their house. They wouldn't have a spare Spectrum just when I turned up. I could also see them buying it in a store on their own accord for that reason. I couldn't. My wife's parents are similar. They actually bought a Switch last year for the grandkids and hooked it up to their TV. I visited them over Labour Day and went to use it, but realised they never bought a single game for it and were clueless as to why no one played it. Amiga would be much better for them, even though they probably only have 6 games. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much anything on the Amico. I don't know. I just Tommy Tallarico. The fuck was that? I could, Tommy just thank them. I think, it just seemed odd you can't, they couldn't allow people to take footage. That just smacks of we're embarrassed for people to see this console. It's very, very odd indeed. I mean, I'll cover a couple of other things briefly in this video. One is, yes, there was another OEB Pete Monday video out this week, and I won't go through it obviously, but I was drawn to it because obviously he's ignored the Amico altogether. It says Atari VCS killer new feature discovered in the latest patch notes. What's the killer app for the Atari VCS that's going to make you want to run out and spend $400? I just realised I've not shown the image that has the Switch on, but anyway, the image with the Switch shows that the Amico on Amazon is 250 quid, while the Switch is 260 quid. So yeah, that was all that picture was showing. And obviously the Atari VCS is still $400 plus whatever it costs to import it. But the killer new feature, what's the killer new feature that's going to make you want to go out and buy it? Well, I didn't even understand it even after I watched the video. It's something to do with the Planning a Friends app within it, which then started him singing the Friends theme song. What a clown. A Friends app. So, what, like when you're on Steam and you have a friends list that's empty, or when you have your friends on the your Xbox through your Xbox or your PlayStation, friends on there. I presume that's the same sort of thing. He compared it to Antstream, which is the like Xbox Game Pass, but for retro games. Even though takes you a blip of a second to download like an emulator and like a billion, retro games for ancient consoles. Antstream is like a monthly fee for a service that allows you to play those games online. And I mean, I've not tried it. I was going to try it the last time there was a Play Expo Manchester, which was 2019, because 2020 was cancelled like it was for everybody, for everything. And they're planning some in later 2021. I think, is it Glasgow or Blackpool? I forget. Later this year, but yeah, the Manchester one won't be until next year. Anyway, they had an Antstream set up, but it wasn't working. I went. This was on the Sunday. There was a Saturday and a Sunday. I went both days. I had a look at the Antstream thing. This was about 4:30 on the Sunday, and it wasn't working. But they said, "Oh, we're going to be staying until 6 o'clock, which is when it closes. We're going to be staying right up until then to get this working." Okay. So I left them to it and went off to play some other games. And I came back about 5:20 just to see what there was to see before, see if they got it to work. Because they said they'd be there up until 6 o'clock. They'd gone. The cads. They'd run off and left me. So, yeah. There was nothing. All their stuff was gone. So, obviously they didn't get it working, and whatever had happened, it was just goose, and they just buggered off. At that time of day, everyone's kind of packing up anyway. But me, because I'm a diehard fan of gaming, I'm there for the whole 10 till 6 on both days. And in fact, because I was doing it as a press thing and making a video about it, I was there from 9 o'clock, so both days. So that was fantastic. And I really enjoyed it. I was playing, I was even playing arcade games right until they switched them off both days. I think with the was it I can't remember whether it was that time or the time before when they're at it might have been the time before when they're at what do you call it, Event City next to the Trafford Centre, Manchester. Well, it's more in Trafford. It's classed as Manchester, but it's Trafford. But Event City, they had, which is a much bigger arena. I was playing a pinball machine right up until 6 o'clock. Now, he couldn't switch it off while I was playing it because that would just sort of knacker the machine. But yeah, if my game finished past 6 o'clock, if I'd have carried on playing it after that, when he wants to pack up, I would not have been I'm not going to take the piss. It was good enough just to let me finish the game, and then obviously we agreed, yeah, call it a day. Thank you very much, and it was fantastic fun. But yeah, it's you can't switch a pinball machine off halfway through, otherwise it's not going to collect the balls, and there we go. So in fact, that segues to talking about balls. just very, and this goes back to the vaccine thing as well. I'll just round off with this. This is in the news today, and then it was criticised by Chris Whitty, the chief medical bloke in the UK. Nicki Minaj tweets about, because someone asked the question at a Prime Minister's press briefing earlier today. They said Nicki Minaj just tweeted about how COVID-19 vaccines have affected her cousin. So Nicki Minaj tweets about COVID-19 vaccines and her cousin's friend's swollen testicles. Oh, it sounds too hot to handle to me. But that's Nicki Minaj, and I'm pretty sure at the last Met Gala in 2019, I think there was one, they had one, was it yesterday or the day before, and the idiots in ridiculous costumes and shit. Kim Kardashian and Kanye, head to toe in black, like gimp masks. So having the vaccine will not make your testicles go swollen. So, and as Chris Whitty said, he just was not happy that she was, just basically ignore people like that who have no idea what they're talking about. Some people say, I have no idea what I'm talking about sometimes. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Maybe you'll get married, maybe you won't. Well, that's kind of got off a little bit off the subject. But, there we go. So that's covered the Boomers event, even though we've had no footage from it, which is a shame. A little bit of Atari VCS news, that its killer app is something nobody cares about. It does something that Antstream apparently does, but does anybody use Antstream? I can't see the point myself. And then we've got Nicki Minaj and her cousin's friend's swollen testicles. I suggest he's been doing something else that's swollen his testicles. Probably like stuck a load of drugs in them. Okay, so on that note of druggy balls, please like this video, share it with your friends. Don't share druggy balls. If you got as far in this video by this point, just comment Nicki Minaj. It'd be interesting to see how many people actually get this far in a video. So just comment Nicki Minaj in the comments, and people will wonder. Do as a separate comment, just Nicki Minaj. People will wonder why are they commenting Nicki Minaj? I can't understand it. Please like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already. Click on the bell for all the notifications. Q Genesis. In fact, they're coming back as well for a big set of gigs. And Phil Collins, my God, he does not look well at all, does he? He does not look well at all. I would be. They should have left it with the. I saw the 2007 concert on TV when in Rome. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Huge sort of funky screens they had, and I don't know what It's just brilliant. You can't top that. And now they're trying, and they've got a new screen which isn't as big and it's not as flashy, and the graphics they were showing were not as good, and it's clearly being done just for the cash and not for the love of it. And I'm wondering, and it's because he's not gonna last the entire tour. I can guarantee that. And he obviously got failing health. I remember when before my dad died, his health was failing, and his son Nick Collins is the drummer now for Genesis on this tour, and I would hate to be in the position. It'd be awful to be up there in the drums and looking down on my dad singing and seeing how he's just really, really straining and really trying, but it's just not happening. That's it's really unfortunate. I would not want to see him put himself through that. I would like to think they have second thoughts before they go ahead with this tour. But I think they'll just go ahead with it and then see what happens. But I do not think it's going to have a good ending, sadly. I do think that Phil Collins will pull out and they'll just stop the tour at that point. But not good news today, is it? Anyway, well, it's not good news for her cousin anyway, her cousin's friend. So anyway, blah 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 blah. Thank you very much, Q Genesis.